Good morning, it's Karen from Simply Living for Him. I am back in my usual recording studio, which is my office and my bedroom. But as you know, we were quarantined for 2 weeks. My whole family, we were kind of separated, and we are through that now, and I'm excited to be back. Although I am thankful, so thankful for the 2 weeks. If you didn't read my blog post, I think I wrote it yesterday or the day before, go check that out, because God really taught me so much while I was living in my laundry room for 2 weeks, and I am so grateful for it, and I wouldn't trade it. So it says here in James chapter 4, starting in verse 13, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow, we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that." I'd encourage you to read the whole chapter, to read all of James. It's only 5 chapters. But this particular passage, I've talked on this before, but it definitely was something that really I walked through these past 2 weeks. There I was on a Monday night, not thinking anything about COVID or anything like that. And the next thing I knew, for 2 weeks, my whole life was kind of turned upside down for a little bit. And again, it wasn't a hardship. Nobody was really hardly sick at all. Being stuck at home, I love my house. I love being home. But it was just unexpected. And it certainly was even a little lonely at times because I was all by myself. But, you just don't know what tomorrow brings. And something that I thought about a lot this past 2 weeks was, as I would wake up in the morning, where I was sleeping was in our laundry room, which is actually being converted to a bedroom, a guest room. So we had a bed in there, thankfully. But as I would wake up in the morning and I would look out across my back property and the barn and the willow trees, we have this one area that I call my meadow, Ma's Meadow. And the goldenrod comes up there every year, and we always take pictures there. It's like a tradition. And the goldenrod comes up like clockwork right at the beginning of August. I think it was like the last day of July where I started to notice it. And every year I love it. It's beautiful and it's all over the property. But at the same time, in its beauty, I also always find a little bit sadness, because the goldenrod to me is like a trumpet that announces summer is ending. And, for years that meant summer was ending and school was starting, and I would just be sad about summer ending. But the past few years, it's changed. It was summer is ending and my daughter was going to college, and then the next year was going to college, and then the next year got married, and now my son went off last year to, the next step of his life. And this year, again, he is leaving early September to go for another program this year, and he'll be far away. So, it's like this beautiful, beautiful view, but it's also bittersweet because it announces, like I said, that summer is ending. And it's very easy for me to get caught up in that and feel like, I want to hold on to what is, and, I don't want to go forward. And, we always have this thing where we glorify the past, we glorify the future, and we're not even looking at the present. And, we're reminiscing about the past and wishing for the days past, even though right now we're living in days that are going to be past and we're going to reminisce about. So that's always interesting. So we reminisce about the good old days, and then we look forward and we think like, it will be better when we get to a certain point, or, when, even these past 2 weeks, once this is over, then, and we glorify the future, and we miss out on the present. And as it says here in James, we only have right now. Our life is but a vapor. We're not even promised tomorrow. I'm not even promised the next minute when I turn off this video. I'm not even promised tomorrow. Our life is like a vapor, right? In the morning you see that mist over the grass, and then it's gone and forgotten about. You don't think about it the whole rest of the day. And so, our life is like that. It's here, and then we don't know when it's going to be gone. So why do we live in the past? Why do we wait for the future when all we have is today? And I want to wake up every day, and this is what I've decided over these past 2 weeks, was like, I want to wake up every day and just say, Lord, what do you have for me today? I'm not living in the past of, the summer. I'm not living in the future of, Oh, when we get to this place then, because as we all know, life is never settled. We never get to that place and then everything is settled, and I don't want to look to the future and even dread it either. Like, oh, my son is leaving, or, oh, this is happening, or my other son is starting his senior year. I don't want to live his whole senior year dwelling that it's his senior year. I want to live for today and say, Lord, what's your assignment for me today? Lord, what is your will for me today? Lord, like when I was in that laundry room, all I have right now is this laundry room. I don't know what tomorrow brings. What do you have for me today? What do you want to teach me today? What can I do to make a difference in the world today? Who can I impact today? How can I impact for you today? That is all we have. All I have is this moment. I'm using this video. I'm going to share about you, Lord. I'm going to minister to my family. I'm going to serve my family. Now that I'm out of my laundry room, I can go out into the world and do things. Lord, what do you have for me today? Because we don't know what tomorrow brings. So we have to stop living with one foot in the past and one foot in the future and both feet firmly planted today. Not always saying and glorifying the future, oh, when we get to tomorrow, we're going to live because we're going to finally have all the things we want. We don't know what tomorrow brings. And we're going to not live in the past and say, oh, it was so great back then. Because right now is the past you're going to be looking back on someday and saying it was so great back then. So both feet firmly in today. Be all in today. Say, Lord, what's my assignment today? Lord, what do you have for me today? Lord, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day I have. Right now, I am not waiting for something in the future. I'm not dreading anything in the future. This is all I've got. So I'm walking through today with you, Lord. So I would encourage you today to do the same, to, not live with one foot in the past and one foot in the future, but both firmly planted in today. And ask the Lord, be like me, ask the Lord in the morning when you wake up, Lord, what do you have for me today? And let's do it. So I hope this encouraged you today. And if it did, let me know and share it with a friend. And until the next time, I wish you all the blessings and joy in Jesus today.